What is the craziest thing that's ever happened to you? I opened my wallet to show my friends I had no monies, and a moth flew out of it. I, American, was visiting the UK for the first time. I got to my hostel and started chatting with the Australian guy in the bed above mine. When I mentioned where I'm from, he says there's a famous restaurant there he really loves and goes to with his family every time they visit. Turns out it was a place I used to work. He said I have a picture of our server from the last time I was there. Maybe it's someone you know. It was me. I was on a plane with a wanted terrorist. I was seated 5 rows ahead of Faisal Shahzad, the Times Square bomber, on a flight to Dubai. Doors were closed and we never left the gate, and the captain kept making announcements, excuses as to why we were delayed. After nearly 3 hours of sitting there, the federal agents rushed the plane and marched that little off the plane. In 2013 I received a notice from my college that my low GPA from the previous semester made me ineligible for financial aid the following semester. It was my last term in grad school and the college was threatening to drop me from all classes if I didn't pay tuition within 72 hours. I went to drown my sorrows at a bar later that night and I met a stranger and we started talking. I told her my story and she offered to pay my tuition. I told her I didn't accept loans from strangers, but she said it was a gift. Turns out she was a very wealthy CEO and that night she wrote me a check for $2,500. I paid my tuition, finished school, and we still keep in touch. I had a beta car in college. It was an ancient Plymouth, made mostly out of duct tape and rust. I had all of my college books in it. Just kept them there. Easier for studying. Go out to my car and grab what I need. Engineering books, too. So super expensive. Someone stole my car out of my driveway with all my books in it. Police report, all that. No joy. I was heartbroken. How in the world could I do my homework? How could I continue the semester? I was totally My mom offered to take me to school that day. I was just ruined. I had no hope. No idea how I would get by. And on ramp on the way to school, there she sat. I just happened to notice her as we were driving by. The old girl chose that exact moment to throw her transmission. The thief was out joyriding it around and tried to get on the freeway. And I just happened to notice it sitting there. All my books were still in it. You just don't get that kind of loyalty with a car anymore. She sacrificed herself in just the right spot so I'd see her and get my books back. I always love that car. Godspeed, you old boat. In college, I was chilling with some friends, doing homework and hanging out, when I got an email from my grandma. She had been really into genealogy lately, and had found some distant branches of the family tree. She was letting me know she discovered that I had a third cousin who attended the same college as me. Well, not only did I know the guy, he was actually sitting right beside me as I read the email. I jumped up and shouted, "Dude, you're my cousin," and that's how the guy one chair over got upgraded from friend to family in 2 seconds flat. I'm a medic and firefighter. We once had a call for something normal, like chest pain or something. I can't remember. The caller said he was in his barn garage, which isn't weird really around here. Anyway, we pull up on scene and something just felt off. No idea why, but something just told me in my gut that something was wrong. I decided to do a 360 around the building before we went through the door at the front that was clearly the entrance. I walk around and come to a window on the side of the building and look in. There was a shotgun rigged to the door. The guy had set a booby trap for us. And he had hung himself as well. We kicked in this plexiglass type material on the side of the building and entered that way. Guy was dead. Nothing we could do about it at that point. I would have been the first through that door. No idea why I didn't just walk through it that day. I was kidnapped for about 8 months as a child. I remember it pretty vividly. It was my grandma on my dad's side of the family. And my dad. But it was because my grandma wanted me. Remember when it happened? My dad picked me up early from school. We spent the whole day and night driving. Spent the night in a motel. And grandma got me the next day. My grandma is half Mexican, so that's where we went. I knew something was wrong when my dad picked me up. My grandma had a bunch of weird rules as well. I was more like a doll to her than a child. She also specifically didn't teach me Spanish, so I couldn't communicate what was happening with anyone. One of the most f***ed up things was my mom actually came to Mexico to talk to my grandma about me. My grandma, being the manipulative bitch, invited her. I was babysat by a neighbor and locked in a room. I remember banging on the window and door trying to get to my mom, because I could see her from the window. Just ended up getting my ass whooped. My biological father, who I had never met and had lost track of my mom's contact info, found me on MySpace out of the blue. We kept up visits, letters, emails for 14 years, and he got to meet his grandchildren. He and my parents had a great relationship too and would hang out together. I lost him in March. I can't believe he found me. More importantly, I can't believe I got 14 years to spend with him.